Hey Tim, today we're talking a little bit about the Medicare supplements again. We talked about the rate increases to the Plan F, the Plan G, the Plan N, and I'm basically wondering, what does a Northern California-based independent insurance agent such as yourself do in this situation? You have about 2,000 clients. A lot of those people are on a Medicare supplement plan. I think that you're still a proponent of the Medicare supplement plan, but with these rate increases, what can people kind of do, or what options do they have in terms of the plan letter that they go with to make, this plan a little bit more affordable?
It's crucial right now, and we've been working hard to make sure our clients are taken care of in Northern California, near the Sacramento area. And I work all over the state and 14 other states, but most of our clients are here in Northern California. We've seen the two largest Medicare supplement plan carriers raise their rates in the mid-teen level, sometimes higher. Rate increases on the popular plans, Plan F, as you mentioned, Plan G, and Plan N, up around 12 to 17% increases, which is a lot for people on a fixed income, but they want to keep their Medicare supplement. They recognize the benefits of having a Medicare supplement, which are significant in my opinion. The main benefit is you can see any doctor anywhere in the country who accepts Medicare. That's one of the main benefits. Also, the strength of the coverage with a Plan F or even a Plan G, you have either no out-of-pocket expense with the F for Medicare covered medical services. Plan
Mhm.
F plugs up all the gaps. That's why people really love that plan. Plan G, just identical to the Plan F, except it doesn't pay the Part B deductible, which this year is $257. After that, it plugs up the other gaps in Medicare, just like Plan F. The only difference is it doesn't pay the Part B deductible. Same choice of doctors. Plan N is the same in terms of the doctors and the core benefits of Medicare. Very strong coverage. It does add copayments up to a $20 office copay and a $50 emergency room. One of the things I think that can throw people off with Plan N is something called excess charges, and we should talk about that more. But
Yeah.
we're helping our clients. We're notifying all of them, hey, these rate changes are coming. We've been saving our clients the same plan. So, if they have an F still, a lot of people, we've been doing this a while, so we still have a good number of clients that still have a Plan F, even though we said, hey, maybe move to a G or an N. They love Plan F and they don't want to give it up.
Right.
We've been saving. Just yesterday, we moved a couple clients. One of them was in their early 70s, a couple. We were able to lower their premium for the same plan by $113 a month. An older couple in their upper 70s, and we actually were able to get them down by 191 versus what the rates are going to go to on their when the rate increases hit.
Okay. Let's say somebody is looking to move from Plan G now, that's getting expensive, and they would like to move to the Plan N. What does that process look like? And are there any noticeable differences? Walk me through that process.
Sure. We would first compare the rates. A lot of our clients, if they have a G, they have a Plan G, they know how it works, they're happy with it, and we're able to drop their premium maybe on a single, 30, 40, $50 a month, sometimes more in some cases, depending on discounts. They might just stick with Plan G. And they don't even really want to consider the Plan N. I mean, it depends on somebody's budget. Of course, a lot of seniors have been hit with homeowners insurance rates going up, food, gas, and utilities. So if they want to keep the core benefits of a Medicare supplement, which I think are significant, and that's what I'm going to do when I go on Medicare in a year. If they can stay where they were or maybe a little bit lower, a lot of times the path of least resistance is to keep the same letter plan. Now, if they want to move to an N, a plan N, so plan N, as I mentioned, does add up to a $20 office visit copayment. That's the maximum a doctor can charge. They don't necessarily have to charge $20 or even collect that copayment, but if they do, it could be $20. So then in that case, Jack, somebody would want to analyze, well, how much do they go to the doctor and what is the monthly savings to go from plan G to a plan N?
Yeah.
If we're able to save them, $30 a month, and that's more than one visit a month. A lot of people don't go to the doctor that much, even if they have, medical conditions. And
Right.
then one thing we would advise the client that Plan N doesn't pay the Part B deductible to 257, but a lot of people have already met that this year, and that's with Medicare, so they don't have to meet that again. Emergency room up to $50 unless they're admitted. Most people can deal with that. How many times in a year are they going to be admitted to an emergency room? If they have a lot of usage and it gives them peace of mind to stay with the G and we're able to save them a little money, that's usually what they do. I would say that's mostly what our clients are doing. If we can save them money, they don't even want to look at a G or an N, which is unfortunate because those are both very strong Medicare supplement plans
Yeah.
as well, and of course have a lower premium. I want to touch briefly on excess charges, and then I think we should talk about the birthday rule in California here, and it's in quite a few other states. Check with your state. Less than 3% of doctors would even charge an excess charge. It's very, very rare. And so really, I haven't seen, and I don't know everything about my clients, and they might not reach out to me if they get an excess charge, but I've only seen excess charges applied 2 or 3 times in over 30 years of doing this. So
Yeah.
it's very rare. They made it more difficult for a doctor to charge an excess charge. They just make it kind of difficult for them. So, the non-mental health care providers is extremely rare that they would see an excess charge. So I think if people really, it's important for their budget to keep the cost down, they may well want to consider a plan N. And this could be the year with these rate increases that more people are and will be considering a plan N.
Yeah, I think that's important. And what you're saying, to me at least, highlights the importance of working with an agent, because Plan N could be a good option, but it's definitely something that you want to talk to somebody about before you switch. Because if you switch from a G to an N or an F to an N, you can't go back to your F or G, or it's very difficult to do so. So it's important that you work with somebody that knows what they're doing and they can get an idea of whether or not that switch is good for you. Let's talk about the birthday rule and how people can utilize that to switch to Plan N.
The birthday rule is important and beneficial to clients in California who have a Medigap plan. And there's about, I don't know, 14 other states that have either a birthday rule or an anniversary rule where they can switch without medical underwriting. So there are some rules of when an insurance company has to take you on a Medigap plan, but the main enrollment period for that is when you're new to Medicare within 6 months of your Part B start date, you're guaranteed acceptance for any Medicare supplement you want. After that, there are some rules that the insurance companies can apply if somebody wants to switch, either downgrade even from an F to an N or a G to an N. You may be subject to medical underwriting where the insurance company can ask health questions and not permit you to change if you have pre-existing health conditions. Most people who are 65, 70, 75, 80 years old, they have some pre-existing conditions. So that can make it difficult to change. I was talking to a client. She said, I asked her how she was doing. She said, not great. I've got to go through 5 surgeries in the next year. And she was pretty down. Changing plans would be impossible. Nobody's going to accept her with medical underwriting. I said, your birthday is coming up in August. Why don't we take a look at it again in August? A lot of times, if people are going through stuff, they don't really want to change their insurance. It is safe because, they're going to get if they keep the same letter plan, those benefits are standardized and the choice of doctors is the same. So it's safe if they use the California birthday rule, but it's up to the client. Some are very motivated to save money, and other people just really don't want to be bothered with it. But we do make a good attempt to give our clients an opportunity to lower their costs if that's important to them. Yeah, and so we'll counsel them. We'll take into account discounts, which can be significant. We have one carrier that's really competitive right now. They give you a 12% discount. That can be pretty significant. As an independent broker, we keep track of all that stuff and make sure whatever plan they're going to, we take the discounts into account, the gym benefits, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely worth looking at if you're on a supplement and you're wanting to save some money. Take a look, get in contact with Tim. It's worth checking, and you can check for people if they have any questions. Tim, anything else before we wrap up?
There can be significant savings, and people have a lot of misconceptions. They think, oh, I have to give up my plan F. No, you can keep your plan F if you're grandfathered in. I don't always think it's the best choice, but people need to be comfortable with what they're doing if they don't want to bother with having to meet a deductible. And I kind of get that. I mean, that's annoying having to figure out your medical bills and insurance owes and that kind of thing. Sometimes people don't want to bother with that, but it is safe to change your plan. You can do it anytime during the year. You have to answer some health questions. If you have some major things like 5 upcoming surgeries, that's difficult. But if, hey, you're on high blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, thyroid medication, you have a few little things, usually it's not a problem to answer some health questions and change. We've been getting tons of people approved through medical underwriting. And if we can't get them through medical underwriting, we'll revisit that during the California birthday rule, which is right around their birthday and ends, most of them end 60 days after the birthday. So I would encourage anyone who's gotten notification of the rate increase, yeah, reach out to us because it could be significant. Over the years, we've moved people thousands of times. We would rather not have to do it, but it's important to take good care of our clients in terms of their budget and the quality of the health care they're getting.
Thank you, and we'll talk soon.
Good being with you, Jack.